Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Road to Ascension. I have got with me a man who needs little to no introduction, but it is Starxo. It is wonderful to have you here. It's been an interesting week, I'd say.
Yes, it's been.
Oh God! Wow. We'll get onto that a little bit later on. Talk about all the stuff that's coming up, but I want to do a little bit of history about you because obviously you started your career, I'd say, at the very beginning of Valorant. But I wanted to then ask, did you play anything else beforehand? Was there another FPS title that you went pro or close to pro, or just play for fun?
uh, I don't know how close I was. I have no idea actually, because I never like been close to actually seeing this. But I kind of try to compete in like every game, basically. Like every esport title, I always tried my best to. I'm just like really love competing, right? So like I try to
Mm.
compete in any game, like Fortnite, Counter Strike, League of Legends. I've tried many games and like I've been like on quite decent level, I would say. But back then I was like really young, so and I didn't really have opportunity to like get a chance or even like a good PC or internet, you know. So
Mm.
I couldn't really show myself in like full potential, but I think I've been really close, you know. That's why I've been chasing this dream after Valorant came out.
Yeah, right. And you got picked up, I'd say, very early on by Entropic. Were you surprised that you managed to get a team so quickly in sort of the lifespan of Valorant?
I don't think I was surprised. Back then, I didn't really even look what I'm getting, right? Like I just lived my dream. I just chased it.
Mm.
I still didn't really know if I'm like insane or like I'm bad. You know, I just could see that I'm like kind of destroying people at start of the game, and I was like, I'm just gonna continue the grind. You know, whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes, I'm just gonna take it as opportunity. And it came quite early, I would say, quite fast.
Mm.
So I'm really happy it went like this.
But yeah, and I think the first team, although the initial name isn't what people remember, which was Raise Your Edge, but which later became Ascend. How did that whole scenario come about? Because that was a pretty hard hitting team pretty much from day one.
How it came? I mean, it came because I was friend with Zeke. Obviously, we've played together like at start of beta. We've been we kind of got like a started being like a friends, you know, in Valorant. So then we kind of our paths kind of went other side. Uh, Zeke went into Nolpenki, more like international. I wasn't like that confident. I think maybe in my English. I'm not sure why I chose this, but like I went for like a more Polish based team. Still like English communication, but like I chose different path. It wasn't like the best choice back then. Uh, but after we both kind of ended our stories with the teams, Zeke had like project with NBS and like not so. Oh my god, sorry, my brain lag.
I was gonna say he was
NBA.
on the team.
Yeah. My brain, you know, I tried because it was so long time ago. I already, you know,
You
put
made me
everything.
question myself. I was looking at the roster. I was
Bro,
like, I
yeah,
swear he
I
weren't
was like,
even there.
yeah, I was like, what I'm talking about? Oh my god, you know? Okay, let's reset this. So you know, no Panky, Zeke was with MBS, right? They went for like international team with CNET, and then Zeke went into G2 because he did really well in the team. But Zeke vouched for me for NBS in his next project. That's why I got into trials, you know. And since day one, NBS like really liked me, how I am, uh, and how good profile you know I can be into the team, how I can fit, and like we just built, you know. Like it was mostly about NBS. He was building the team. He just found like really good pieces that nobody knew, and we just built like really nice, I would say, environment in the team, and it went like it went, you know. Like I think we just had like 5 kids that tried to live the dream,
Mm.
and that's why it went so smooth and so good, you know, because there was no ego. Like we just kind of were all on the same level, all same names, no ego, like I said, and that was quite easy to work. If you have no ego in team, it's just super easy.
Yeah, and what I think the results speak for themselves. You ended up winning the first Masters, which was like the regional one. What was it like to have that sort of first taste of success?
It was insane, honestly, because back then I've been playing only against like my idols, I would say, right? Because like I was nobody, and in every team there was someone big. For example, like I don't remember now what teams was there. Like it was Fun Plus Phoenix, Heretics, like even organizations or like players were like quite already. They had some
But yeah,
names in the scene.
like Angel, Mixer, Scream,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
people
exactly.
people
Like
like that. Yeah.
yes, yeah, this type of players that I was always looking up to when I was younger. When I was grinding in different games. So it was just like, wow, I can do this. I can just try myself out against them. It was like huge challenge. It was also like insane fuel to me as a player, to show myself that you know there is not jokes, and me as nobody can also play good.
Mm. Well, it's funny because you mentioned that Zeke vouched for you, but then when your IGL at the time called Amenta got stolen by G2, you end up getting Zeke back for your team instead. And I'll be honest, like looking back at that team, that felt like a match made in heaven. Like the team just looked like it clicked even better than it did before.
Yeah, I mean the chemistry was already there, kind of with half of the team, right? Like Cinet and NBS worked with Zeke, right, in Alpenki,
Mm.
so they kind of had the chemistry. They knew each other, what to expect from each other, and like I was still very close with Zeke. We always like kind of felt after he went to G2 that our paths need to cross again because of like how good chemistry wise we were together, and we knew that we as duo we can make insane difference in the game because like of our dynamic, in the team, of the communication and like playstyle. uh, and yeah, kind of insane honeymoon, like probably one of the best in Valorant until today, I think, even though many people would agree with this, but I think it was quite a journey. Yeah, we clicked, and if it clicks, it clicks. You take that, and we win everything, no problem. Almost.
Well, yeah, yeah. I think that was the funny thing because I spoke to Zeke earlier in the week, and he was very much of the sentiment that if you hadn't choked the game versus 100 Thieves, you would be looked at in the same way that Gambit are. Do you feel in a similar way that that was like if you'd won that game, you would have beaten them, and then it would have been your year?
Uh, I never think like this, because it's in esports. It's one day you have good, one day you have bad, and everything can turn out. They were
Yeah.
better at the day, and yeah, sure. Gambit also lost to 100 Thieves on Masters Berlin, right? I think. So like maybe 100 Thieves just had like a little more experience than all of us together, also with Gambit. Mm, Maybe if we had more experience, we beat them, and yeah, maybe we meet in grand final, and who knows what would happen, right? If people would look at us the same way, I don't know, Like I still until today don't understand why there is so much hate towards us. People like underestimate our achievements and what we went through because we kind of dominated Europe. Like Europe, not international wise, but full Europe, we kind of dominated
Mm.
all together with Gambit. Like they just couldn't find a way to play against us. But they're just nice people, and maybe we were a little bit too less entertaining to viewers, and we just bring too many haters. But if I don't care if it's haters or fans, as long as they speak about you, uh, you are on top, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'll also say I still remember you guys playing at the international events and doing some like weird shit and tactical pauses and stuff that always made me laugh. So I don't know. I think any hate on you guys is forced, but also just like I think anybody who remembers that period of time is like both teams, you and Gambit, had things stylistically that were enjoyable to watch. Like I think anybody at that time, when you were like dominating teams, it was genuinely one of those things where you sit there and go like, I don't know if there's anything they could have done about this. Like, it was just
Yeah.
crazy peak performance on like individual level, but also just like as a unit. I think kind of wanted to ask, and I asked a similar question to Zeke. Once you win the biggest tournament first time, is it then hard to stay motivated to go again because you've kind of you did it first, and then next will only be to do the same thing again?
Good question. If I knew the answer, probably, we wouldn't choke 2022, maybe. But I mean, it's good question. Also, it's like really hard to answer because it's all depending on what type of players you have, what type of
Mm,
experience you have, and what type of ego people gonna get after winning such an event. Because there is always gonna be ego, and I don't think it's bad to get it. I think it's just depending how you handle and how you contribute to the team, that this ego that you got, because it can be like MVP ego, it can be like, just a champion ego, it can be like, oh, I'm the best in the world, or it can be like as a fuel, like you
yeah,
wanna win even more, we're the best, let's work even harder, let's find out the way to play so people not gonna anti-strat us because all eyes are on us right now, and we have like next match in 1 month after champions, right? And we kinda, I think we nobody in our team was experienced enough to see it that way, if I was uh, like myself from now, if I could, fix things, that would be so easy right now, because I kind of know the answers, how to work with this feeling of like being the best, feeling with like, how important it is and how easy it is to fall from top, because back then I felt like I'm the best in the world, I'm the king, because for entire 2021 we kind of were like this.
yeah,
Uh, but I think we just kind of lacked help in these terms of like mentality and like being together like as a unit. We kind of all got separated from each other and felt like in like a dream, in like big bubble of dream. Uh, and yeah, and also like the things that started, not bringing any politics, but it also really affected our team. Everyone knows what happened. Uh, and yeah, it wasn't easy to stay. But if I have to answer your question, like I think this happened to almost every team that won champions, right?
yeah,
It's in this game, it's so hard to stay on top because like the people laughing that schedule is very, bad and like, there is so little games. But if you're on top, if you're playing every tournament until the end of schedule, the next tournament you're gonna have is like, I don't know, might have 2-3 weeks until next tournament, right? And it's like there is coming meta changes, there is coming new agent into instantly to the tournament, and like there is no time to adapt. That's why in this game there is not gonna be like that type of consistency that one team gonna fully smash everything, for few years, for example, like in Counter Strike,
mm,
because the meta is shifting too fast, like not like in Counter Strike,
yeah.
and that's why it's really hard to stay on the top. Like you need to work on your mental to allow yourself to have this kind of knockdowns, I would say, on your path to like get back again,
Yeah. Well, the only thing I wanted to touch on there was for your own individual motivation. Like, are you still as driven as you were like in 2021 to get back to the top and try and go for another like international, etc.? Like, what is driving you to carry on trying to be the best?
I think I always have this like passion. I don't think it even affected me by any second this win
Okay.
on champions. That's what I think, at least after these 3 years. Like it might be like insane feeling, right? Like all eyes on you, you leaving, like the golden boy, etc. Everyone wanna follow you and everyone wanna speak to you. Uh, but in the end, it's just people, that gonna leave instantly as soon as you start losing. So
Mm,
something I understood, that you are gonna be alone no matter what, after these times. Unless you are winning, every tournament for 10 years, but it's not
mm,
gonna happen. As soon as you fall down from you drop your crown, there is gonna be only real ones and it's gonna be very few people, So
mm,
what have been motivating me, I think it needs to be myself, it needs to be my family and that they support me really well, that whenever I have like bad moments, they always like, when you play, how are you doing? How is the team? And like, it's really motivating me. Also, they think that I'm perfectionist in my life. Everything I do, everywhere I compete, I never, I hate losing. I just, if I'm playing for some stakes, for something, I always wanna win. That's just how I am, how my character is built. And wherever I'm going, whatever challenge I have, if it's in real life, if it's in game, if it's just fun games, I always want to win. and that's just how my brain is working, and I'm really happy to have this, because many people just losing the passion to the game randomly, and
Yeah.
like they lose this fire, right? And they're just gonna retire, and they're just gonna go look for a real job or like work wherever. And many of my friends did this. Like for example, Boncolt, I know he lost a lot of his fire and passion to the game. Uh, and like I'm really happy that I didn't end up this way, because I love this game, and I hope I can compete forever. Like obviously I wanna get back on top, but you need to work very hard to get this.
Well, I then want to move on to sort of the next team of the bunch. Like when Ascend didn't make it as like a partner team, once you heard the news, did you know like immediately? Okay, I've now I got to be looking for another squad to join.
It's a good question, because it's been so long time ago,
Yeah.
and now I need to go back to all these memories. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't remember how was it. I know they were like really in like like really late stages, right, of these
Hmm.
talks with Riot about partnership, and like it was like into very end. It was really hard to wait until this decision, because like you don't know, if I miss
Yeah.
opportunity, I might just be orgless for next year, so like I had to kind of just go with the feeling.
The Koi roster on paper for 2023, I think, was one that was very exciting. Like it was you back with Coldamenta, Shados, obviously from the rivalry of Gambit, Trex, who I think if anybody had watched any tier two at that point and any of Guild, they knew how good Trex could be, and then Wolfen, who was kind of like that young duelist. At the beginning of the year, if you can remember, what were your expectations? Were you looking at that team as like, okay, we're gonna do some serious fucking damage?
uh yeah, I think everyone was having these expectations, right? I mean, uh my story with like Coldamenta, Trex, and Barbar was like kind of long, because they
Mm.
already wanted me. They wanted me and Zeke like in 2021, in the end of 2021, kind of in guild. So there was a way to have save Leo, Trex, Zeke, Starxo, kinda, or Coldamenta. I don't remember, like this
Yeah,
type of
someone
team.
has to go.
Someone someone has to go, but someone would go in the end. But there was this super team kind of in the talks, but we Ascent couldn't make this happen, unfortunately. But and like Guild was really insane in 2022, so I think if I went there, like we would have smashed, because I think they went to Copenhagen, right, or like some other LAN tournaments, some masters,
Yeah,
and
I
like
think there was one where like Safe was like the highest ACS of the whole event, even though
yeah,
they
yeah,
didn't go that far.
yeah, and I was really sad, because I was like, these guys wanted me, and I knew how much I could help them, and like it was just sad. So like we've been in talks with them, after 2022, they still wanted me. We got like a project in Koi, uh, and yeah, like it was looking great on paper. I was super happy, but in the end, I was super sad. Yeah, so we can move on to the next question.
Well, I was gonna say like due to the like I feel like 2023 was a weird year because although I think people have very fond memories of lock-in, if you did lose in lock-in, there was a big break. Like there was just like not a lot going on for quite a while. So when you sort of lose that initial game, did it feel kind of difficult to turn things around because it wasn't like you could practice because everybody was in Brazil and then there was a big gap?
The only thing I remember in my head is that before Navi game that we won,
Hmm.
uh, that nobody expected us actually, because Navi was like really big favorites after coming from 2022. Uh, like we had like I don't know 30 or 40 practice in a row without a lose. So
Oh
like we've been
wow.
on like insane streak of like wins. We felt like we are completely unstoppable as like a team. Like I think this lose in kickoff kind of like give us like huge fuel to work. Like if I'm trying to a bit remember, like remind myself. So like we've been like on like insane grind. We've been like looking really strong on pracs, and it showed up. It showed up on the Navi game. We had like really good flow as team. Like we just fully smashed them. Let's be honest. And yeah, after that, uh, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. So we can move on to another one.
But the next question is pretty much maybe the bit that you can't speak about. What would
Let's
you
see.
say
Let's
was
see.
the core thing that didn't work with the squad?
Um, I think what didn't work, to not put blame on anyone or anything. I think the roles weren't the best in the end after we look, like obviously after the whole year, if we check. And back then we felt like the roles are like good, like everyone is comfortable and stuff like this. But in the end, it turned out like Trex, Wolfen, Shadows had to switch up between each other because there was some misunderstanding. Some like one person didn't felt like this guy is good on this role. This guy didn't feel comfortable on this role, so we had to switch up fast. We had to basically it was insane drama in the team. Every week there was big problems. Uh, it wasn't like family coming back from insane family from Ascend where we were like friends like literally with everyone
Hmm.
coming into team where nothing is working. My brain kinda melted, fully. Me because I was young still, unexperienced at some point because I didn't have experience working in like hard environment, right? When nothing is
Yeah.
working, you need to kinda power through, and you need someone that's gonna fix it. And like we also didn't have psychologist in Koi for 2 years, so it was really hard. We just kind of were working on our own, trying to find out what is the issue, how we can solve it. In the end, we couldn't find out for like entire season until very end, which
Yeah.
was just like last dance kind of thing.
Yeah, but that was what I was going to ask about next. Is like with LCQ, I think we started to see glimmers of what we'd hoped to see from the team. When you were then making your decisions going into 2024, was that kind of what made you go, okay, I'll stick with Koi, or was that already going to happen no matter what?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I got a little bit influenced by some people. I was still young. I was still I didn't know what to do, basically, if I'm being honest.
Mm.
I didn't have my own like thought process on this. I just couldn't be like that guy, okay, I'm gonna do this and it's and this is the best for me. I just kinda listened to people who I felt uh like important to me and like they know what they're doing and I just follow it. And it was just mistake that I just need to learn from for my future. I'm still young. Uh, but this off season was still promising for 2024. We cannot say that it was bad, but we can say that players didn't want to come to us. Like in the end, like every player that we wanted, every player that like we could make like really good team, just chose different org. And and what can you do? You end up with people like not to say you don't like, but in the end, it's not what you expected, right? To end up with when you were in talks for like next season. So like you just had to go with what you got, right? And and that's all. You just need to learn from your mistakes. Don't just trust yourself. Be more decisive in life, like a real man. I kind of grow up. I kind of got more mature after these 2 hard years, and I think it will never happen again to me making that bad decisions, in life.
Yeah, that was the thing that I kind of want to touch on what you just mentioned with the almost the Koi stigma, because I have actually heard that from players, because I've heard that like in terms of what Koi is offering in terms of salary, or was offering I should say, was always very competitive. I've heard that the facilities that they offered were also very good. It was just because of problems the year before that a lot of players made the decision that they didn't want to work with Koi. Did you find that to be weird? Because me from the outside, that sounds insane, basing your decision off the team the year before when the team the year before is being replaced.
Yeah, I mean, I until today I don't know, why these players make these decisions. I didn't go
Mm.
to them and be like, "Yo, why you do this? Maybe come play with me. Let's have another 09. What do you think about this?" Uh, no, I wasn't like this. Back then I was just fully focused on helping making this roster happen. Making the best thing possible, even though we couldn't find the best picks. Like I still was tryharding to get the best roster. Uh, what was the reason? Good question. We can bring some people that refused us, and they can answer this. Uh, but yeah, not to blame. I'm not like CEO. I'm not like no general manager of esports to tell people how to run org, right, and how to run successful team. But there has been few, I would say, I don't know, silly rookie mistakes. I would say even that I knew that is important to have in the team. For example, like simple psychologist, right?
Yeah.
Like cut the budget for players. Like you're just getting like some rookies and paying them, tons of money. Uh, I don't think it should be like this, in esports. You need to earn this, and then you can grow the salary, in my opinion. Like with the time, with the results, with the player involvement in the team and improvement. That's how you should grow your salary as a player, not just give him and maybe he gonna pop up because of the money you gave him. You need to kind of like know what is the most important, for player. Uh,
Mm.
and you just haven't been like we just didn't get it. We just didn't get what we needed, and the support. And I really believe that in the end, it's because of this. It's because the environment didn't feel like it's family. It's because uh, we didn't put enough effort from the start of team to actually make like strong group. We actually only focus on playing. We didn't focus on like being friends, spending time outside of the game, because I really believe that spending time outside of the game more can be more beneficial than just dry playing the game. Like you
Yeah.
need to kind of have really good mix between, because if you have insane chemistry you can go with like few pracs and fully destroy, because like the flow you're gonna get, you're just gonna have constant ideas, you're just gonna have like, because you enjoy playing with players and you're just gonna keep continuing to do this stuff, So I hope I answer your question, not getting into many details
Yeah,
because
that's fair.
I don't know if I can get sued for this or what. I prefer to avoid any problems,
That's okay. I'll keep you safe by moving on to this year. And
Thank you.
we'll get into job life because there's nothing that's complicated about this scenario. Uh, I'll start at the beginning of the
We
year
will
where
see.
2025 was the sort of the first year you found yourself outside of the top tier of Valorant. And you've kind of answered this already with talking about your winner's mentality, but was there any point where you were worried that like, okay, maybe I can't make the grind back?
Yes, I think there was. I mean, like, even though you have so much passion in the game, so much fire, I think if you drop so hard, because you can call it like hard drop, like from world champion to double bottom of leaderboard of like EMEA to like even not getting trials because of this,
Mm.
it can hit you, in head like really hard, even more than Brazilians, after champions 2021. So,
I
you kinda,
casted that game.
yeah. I hope
I
it was
casted that
fun.
game twice.
Yeah, actually, I played it twice as well. Uh, so yeah, it's hard. You're getting into this kind of depression status that maybe it's not for you. Maybe you should stop playing because like how the hell to not put any bad words here, even though we said we can. How the hell you can do 0-10 twice? After being world champion. If there is something wrong either with you or just with the team, but two times 0-10, you start to think that it was maybe you the problem, and I spent really a lot of time alone thinking about this, sometimes talking to some people, but like I really need to go through alone because that's how I just handle my things. That's how I just fix myself and heal, and that I just spend myself talking to myself all nights. And yeah, it wasn't easy that people didn't even try to speak to me after these 2 years from tier one. Uh, they didn't even try to look for what was the problem, what happened. Maybe there is still the guy from 2021 that could help us, get some trophies. They just look at the result and they're like, okay, good luck. We don't want to. We don't want to go 0-10. So I was like, yeah, sure, mate. Maybe it's just time to grind back, tier two. But in the end, there was a moment where even tier two teams didn't want to speak to me. That was a little bit worrying for me because I was like, okay, there is something wrong. There is like, come on, just like here we need to be serious. Like I was surprised as hell. That okay, tier one, okay, no problem, I'll grind back, but tier two, I was like, I will get into insane project because like I still have experience, I still have like the knowledge I can bring and the value to the team. And there was some good teams that refused me, because of something, I was like, okay,
Hmm.
I will be looking for like the best project, that I can get. And luckily, uh, Joblife came. Honestly, I don't remember how they came and who came. I think it was Larson. It's not been that long ago,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
still
that
don't
one you don't have
remember.
the excuse.
We, yeah, I mean, sorry, Larson, but my brain is just, I just
Remember what you
focus
had
on
for
present.
breakfast?
Like there is Ascension in 1 week. Why should I think about who picked me up last year? Yeah, I need to remember strats. So, so yeah, luckily they came to me. And I instantly said yes. There was no
Mm,
negotiations. They came up with what they offered to me. I said it's no problem, even though I didn't read how much money they wanna pay me, uh, how much, how is their facility, what players. Like I just wanna make good project, and I just accepted every term. In the end, I was even like, just take my salary, let's get the best players you want, let's pay them extra so they can come, because not everyone have this opportunity to actually live from the money you earned in the past. And actually many people in tier 2 are suffering because the budgets are very low, uh, and they need to pay a lot in their countries to actually live. So I was like, take my money, let's make the best team, we're gonna grind back, we will win everything, because that's my mentality. I just want to have good environment. I just knew from the start that Joblife is this type of team like Ascend, that they put big focus on environment, on like family, that your CEO is sitting with you in the office, he's streaming in the other
mm,
room. After stream, he's coming to you for your practice session, asking how it's going, eating dinner together, taking care. Uh, so that was like no other option. I just need to be there because that's how I grow up. That's how I built my legacy, kinda at start of the game, and that's how I gonna bounce back in such an organization that put the same like focus like Ascend, right?
yeah, and I would say like when you look at the beginning of job life, I think especially split one and obviously split three in the French league, it looked like you did fantastically well. So what was it about? I suppose I've got to ask you two different questions because it was two completely different teams. But what was about those sort of groups of players that it felt like you could just almost run riot of the French league?
Good question. Thank you for asking. Uh, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Like we had good team, we had fun, and that's what matters the most. Like we just focus on like having like strong players, but also like funny players, like the players that gonna instantly click. Like I think Larson and Skaz were the players that coaches that actually understood. I kind of felt like I'm talking to NBS, from 2020, 2020. Like
Mm.
these guys putting big focus on actually building like good family friendly environment, so everyone gonna be happy. And like as I told you a few times already, if you manage to have this type of environment, no matter what caliber of players you will have, they will make difference in the server because they feeling like family. They enjoying the game. They just love to be there. They're not coming to practice to just spend these 6 hours and go, play rankeds in the evening because they just so drained from playing with his teammates. Like they actually enjoy being after the pracs together and before the pracs, speaking about the game outside, on Discord, and like being involved. So honestly, the competition in France wasn't that easy. When I came here, I kind of didn't know what to expect. I just look at names and I was like, okay, it's gonna be competitive because there is like Enzo, there is like Mandatory, Valiant. They don't have bad teams. They,
Yeah.
they are shooting good, Sayonara, and teams like this. So like I knew we need to put big focus to actually win. But it was easy, in France. I don't know why. It was just easy. Like that's the truth, a part of Split 2, like I think it's big focus, big thank you to Joblife because I think their environment is really making players like really good, and really happy to be there. So like I think we just choose great players. We just had good environment, good work ethic, and that just make us good outside of EMEA. So let's go into next question, asking how you guys played so bad in stage 2 challengers, right?
That is the question. You are
Yeah.
correct. Stage 1 challenges didn't
Oh,
go
stage 1.
exactly to plan with
Yeah.
the loss to go next. But I also feel like that kind of bled into Split 2 as well, where you weren't able to make it. Like what it does feel like a success sandwich. Like you did fantastically at the beginning and fantastically at the end, but in the middle it was a little bit weird. What happened in the middle stage?
Middle stage. Okay, we won first split. We were happy. Uh, what happened in next split? I think what happened was we just couldn't adapt to meta. Maybe. I think both. I think we crumbled under pressure. Let's be honest. We had some players in the team that couldn't handle the win. And we coming back to first question, how you handle big win, and like so you're not getting ego and stuff like this. And like players actually like to get ego even after winning split in France. So it's actually interesting, because I was like,
Mm.
okay, we make this team to win everything and go into VCT. And suddenly it turns out that we're winning first split, like fully stomping everything, and not even a chance, in grand finals. And after this, people actually getting ego, and I'm like, guys, we just started the journey, there is like, come on, guys, we don't have points to do this. Like, you need to grind 6 more months or something to get into even Ascension, and we need to stop this. And but we just couldn't fix it, like it was just too much clash in practice, too much clash in theory time. We just couldn't find out like the middle ground, the like just accept each other. It was just a lot of problems inside the team, and also we couldn't adapt to the Tejo meta that just came out. Like I really wanted to play Tejo. I really loved. I feel like I really understand how to adapt to meta fast, but we just couldn't do it. Like I tried to help. We needed to play Yoru, we needed to play Tejo because back then it was insane meta to abuse it, and we could fully stomp. We just couldn't do this, and I think that's why we crumbled that hard.
Mm. Well, one of the other changes that kind of came in, like I would say more recently, was you were playing a fair bit of Duelist in that time. Like obviously, I think back in the day you played a fair bit. Then you became one of the best Sky players probably in the world. I'd say in 2021,
Thank
I
you.
don't think that was arguable, and that is still to this day your most played agent. Then you went into, as said recently with Joblife, playing some Duelist again. Was that your choice for the team? Mixture of both?
Honestly, I think it was mixture of both. Like I think we ended up in like really bad mental state. Like I told you that we couldn't find any solution. That in the end we said let's put me on duelist. I really felt incredibly strong individually after first split. Like not to blame anything, but I feel like I was the MVP of Split One. Like I felt like I'm coming back into shape, and I felt like maybe that's what we need, you know. I felt like I can handle this. I felt like I am the guy that if we need to make these drastic changes, put it on me, you know, because I'm not gonna get affected, and I might actually maybe pop off, you know, and like carry. It didn't turn like this, you know. So I think it was my last time I tried this. Uh, so I think we can forget this topic about me on duelist. You know, uh, it wasn't, you know, me coming and saying, you know, I need to play it, you are shit, or something like this. You know,
Yeah.
it was more like we just couldn't find any solution for like a lot of time, and we were like, let's try it. You know, you live once. Let's try double duelist. Let's try, you know, some things like this. For some maps it's been working, for some maps it's been more bad, but I think like it was already hard to fix after like we lost in challengers, the ego got higher. We just couldn't get the team going, you know, like in like
Hmm.
correct direction, I would say, right?
But that was the next stage of team. Well, I would say you survived the purge. Like we saw the entire team go, other than you. I think
I
obviously
kick
Unfake.
everyone.
Unfake ends up going to Vitality, so it's a little different. But the rest of the squad went their separate ways. But then you kind of pulled in like the god squad of ex tier one players. What was again? What was it? Was that you? Was that, well, not you individually, but like, did the org just go, okay, fuck it, we're just buying everyone we can?
I mean, it turned out like it looked like this from outside,
Yeah,
right? Uh, it looked like someone came with $1 million and like Falcons in Counter Strike buy everyone.
yeah.
But no, I mean, reality was like we need to make some changes because like the team is not functioning at all. We need to make something. After the split two, we were like, okay, what do we do? Because like honestly, personally, I really like everyone in the team. It wasn't like this guy is so toxic, we need to kick. I really felt bad for
Yeah.
every change we did actually because I really got so connected with every player. Uh, and like we were really looking just for the best option. I'll be honest, that's just esport. In the end, you need to be the best, and in the end, the weakest link just gonna get changed, right? And that's is it's no matter if you are a good human, bad human. It's just what you contribute to the team. If that's not enough, you're getting replaced. And how our off season was looking, basically, uh, we were looking for every option. We were looking for duelists. We've been struggling in practice and in officials to find the consistency in duelist, to find these openers, to have this guy that gonna bring us like openings and like make the difference even by himself alone. So we're looking for some young talents. That was our my main like focus to get
Mm.
duelist, and that's all, right? We were like, okay, Joblife don't have huge huge budget. Sorry, they don't have huge budget. We cannot like bring everything, you know, because it's tier two. You just need to go with what they give you. So we're looking for duelist. Then it turned out that we can actually make another change. It's possible. Like there is some deal coming up with BBL that we can loan them for like little money. There is like Chihuahua. There is Purpo that we can get him for like low money. Uh, and we were so happy, you know, to have this. In the end, we got them, and we were like, okay, because there is Jesse and there is Wacky, and we were like, we need to change one player because Purpo and Chihuahua are coming, right? So we had to switch someone. And we're just looking for the best smoker or the best sentinel. Sorry, for the best. Okay, I mean, as soon as we got Chihuahua, we kind of knew that we need to get like a smoker, right? Because we and there came Shin, so we were like, okay, like Shin really was insane player in the practice. We kinda felt like this guy is a game changer for us, you know.
Mm.
Uh, so we ended up like this, and it was insane, honestly. But until Vitality call us, right? So Vitality ruin our dreams. And no, I'm kidding. Obviously, I was super happy for Unfake, to get this opportunity, because this guy really deserves it, But I don't think this should be the opportunity, because it's really hard to go like a rookie IGL, let's be honest, because he never
Yeah.
played in VCT. Going to such a team, I don't want to blame anything, but there is huge names in the team, and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to to let a guy like this and be leader, apparent like come to team with that names and start to be leader, you need to really have something big problem in head to actually do this, because it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard to go and be like, okay, now you listen to me and nobody's speaking, and they all listen to you. It's impossible. It's impossible to go with this
Yeah,
mentality. You need to respect the hierarchy kind of in the team, and like the stars you have, and I just feel sad for him. But we're not talking about him. We're talking about me in Joblife
of
right now.
course.
So not kidding. But we ended like we ended like this. Good question how it ended. But in the end, for Unfake, we got like a deal with Clem with Sivop.
Mm.
That was the trade kinda. If we give them Unfake, we need something, right? And we got Clem. He was insane. Honestly, we are super lucky that because this guy should stay there, and because he was making big difference in VCT. And we ended up like this with super team. And I hope I answered your question. Yeah, how
You
was it?
definitely did. You've definitely answered
Sorry, I'm
my
speaking
question.
too much. I think we're actually going over your time
Oh, it's all
because
good. It's all good. I'm happy to
uh,
listen. I
okay.
then want to sort of talk about well, I guess the one result that probably ended up hurting the most, the defeat to Ulf, that because only one team gets out of groups ends up pretty much ending your journey as it begins. You lost by literally 2 rounds in OT, so a tough defeat. How gutting was that one after the team? Because you then went on to just I'm pretty sure I remember correctly, comfortably beat the other two teams without too much issue at all.
Yeah, good question. Thank you for asking. Honestly, it was hard game. It was really hard game mentally, also to accept the fact that we just got smashed by like 16 years old. Uh, it was hard. It wasn't our day. Honestly, they were better. I just cannot say like it's just stupid to say we just had bad day because they were better. They just pressured us that much that like we didn't play like we did. Like we lacked entry frags, we lacked good communication, we lacked like good decision as a team. We had really chaotic comms, which like it was first time honestly since this team got made. Not counting game in France against HOB that we also lost. It was the same kind of. It was like repetition. Like we lost one game with this roster to Haydon Bush in France because they were doing the same things like Ulf. They were like just kind of young people that were hungry to beat us. C5 nicknames like from VCT. They're more hungry. They just had nothing to lose, And actually, I was surprised, but we actually crumbled under pressure. And not to put any nicknames, I feel like everyone at some point had like kind of some problems, And I don't think we could dream about VCT if we crumble under pressure like this, We just had to win every game. And if you wanna go VCT, you make a super team like this. You expect them to not crumble under pressure, against such a team. Like we're not playing against Fnatic in Champions Finals or something like this. This could be understandable, but there is just no room for mistake like this.
The next bit is where things get a little bit weird because obviously you missed out on Ascension by 1 spot, by a few points. Up until I don't know when, you were looking for team. You were probably having a bit of a break. When did you actually find out that you now had a spot again?
I mean, now it's 6th of September, right? I'm correct.
October.
October. English is not my
Yeah, you know.
first language.
I don't
Uh,
know the months in Polish, so it's all good.
uh, it's true. Okay. So yeah, it's 6th of October. Uh, right now, today when we record this, when I got information, I think it was 4th of October,
Oh, okay.
maybe 2 days ago, or two or
Was it
three.
when it was announced? Did you find out when
Uh,
they tweeted it?
yeah, we found out at night,
Oh,
day
okay.
before, kind of like in the same day, but at night, right? So they
Okay.
tweeted at 7 p.m. We got information in the kind of morning or like at the night. And how we found out, like it was insane, honestly. Like we were already, looking for team, making some trials. The dream is over, and then they come up like this, hello, you play or not? You have 20 hours to complete your roster and submit it for Riot. I'm like, yeah, bro, of course. Let me check out my list of tier players. Let's find out who can be the best. And we're like, okay, oh my god, I mean, first of all, we're super happy. Second of all, we're super angry because obviously this is like coming from God, like blessing from God that we have opportunity. So you cannot be so angry on this. In the end, you just need to take it. And like you cannot say anything, obviously. Like it's just how life works. The sad part is just we don't have our two brothers, that like were really big key factors for our team, which is duelist player and sentinel,
Yeah.
and also really good friends because like these guys we really like every roster in Joblife we fell in love with, and it was really hard to accept that they actually couldn't get visa on time. Uh, and we just had to look for new players. We just had 20 hours. Riot said until tomorrow you have time. Good luck, have fun, and that's all. The big restrictions you have: you cannot take any VCT player that played in last stage. You cannot take any tier 2 player that played in last EMEA challengers. So we're basically in big, deep, dark tunnel right now, if I need to say, politely. So we're going into deepest of deeps of tier 2, players that actually didn't make to challengers, players that actually didn't play in VCT last split, which was so hard to find because many good players played in last EMEA because like it was very important to qualify to this. And also we had to look for some bench players in VCT. We had to look for some like really deep tier 2 diamonds. We played from next day 12 p.m. until 7 p.m. Sorry, 12 a.m. right to 7 p.m. right? You say like this.
What? Well, yeah, it'd be
Uh,
12 p.m.
From
technically.
12 to
The
7, yes, we
afternoon.
played. Yeah, we
Yeah, I get you.
basically played like, yeah, we basically played like 7 hours or six straight with three different people. So we had to choose after these 7 hours who was the best. Because like Kadavra, we chose kinda instant because he was really close friend of ours, really close friend of my Frenchies. So we kinda, it was like no brainer for us. This guy gonna fit into the team. This guy played on stage. This guy have good knowledge, good communication. He's really friendly. He's gonna bring really good vibes, and we just keep focusing on what has been working for us during this year. We just focus on family. We just focus on like environment. And second guy, we just focus on the guy that can like make the difference on server. We did trials for duelist for next day. I cannot give names who we tried. I think I don't have any approbation or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can give names, but in the end, Stonezi was difference maker. We felt like we played only 2 games with him. We felt like this guy knows what he's doing. We're gonna make him a beast on bootcamp in Berlin before Ascension. We have 8 days to prepare 6 maps. Good luck in esports. Let's run it. Let's make the dream of underdog. I feel like 2021 over again. So I'm happy to play like this. I'm happy to be in this environment. That's where I thrive. And I'm happy I can help the guy like Stonez, to make him shine, hopefully, on stage.
Well, just to check, because I feel like maybe I've missed a tweet or a post, but will it still be you, Sivov, Shin, and then Cadaver, and then Stonesy?
Yeah, it's like this because we
Okay.
had to keep the core of 3 players. So
Okay.
basically, if one of us got signed, for example, to other org, because it could be a possibility, right, that during this off season we maybe got instantly signed by some VCT team or something. Maybe we couldn't play there even, so they would choose other team. But
Yeah.
luckily, yeah, we need to keep the core, and it's like this.
Okay. Well, to finish, I've got 10 questions sort of about Ascension that I want to ask you. And the first one is a nice, easy question, which is what is your in game name and what team do you play for?
Wow, what an insane question! Thank you for asking. My in-game name is Starxo, and I'm playing for Joblife.
What makes your team different or unique from the other 7?
Uh, I think my team is very unique because, like, I think no team in Ascension have only 7 days of practice and 2 substitutions. So I think we're gonna have fun and we're gonna be big underdogs. So, guys, we have nothing to lose but everything to gain. Take care.
I already know the answer to the next question. These questions make a lot more sense to the other people, but I'm going to ask you anyway because I need an answer. But what has been the toughest part of your journey so far?
What? You think I have answer to this?
I would guess it's the players that are having to sub in for you over the next.
Or or 0010 in league? You can
No,
choose
just for
whatever
this
you want.
team, just for job life, for job
Ah,
life.
for Joblife. Ah, then yeah. I mean, sure. We can choose this. But is it really bad? Like maybe that's how you build a story. Maybe that's actually we have the upper hand. Let's see.
Okay. Oh well, then what? Okay. What do you think is the toughest part of your journey in job life so far?
And why you do this?
I need an
Okay,
answer. I
we
can't
need to
record
play
me
with
saying
2
it.
subs. We need to play with 2 subs in Ascension. We're really sad. Uh, it's gonna be really tough challenge for us as a team, but we will pull through.
Okay, wonderful. who
We have it.
who is the player on your team others need to watch out for?
Okay, it's good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just waiting for the
I mean
answer.
that works, no?
Which team other than your own will make it to VCT EMEA? You can't do this for everyone. I need to answer this one.
Okay. I mean, let's put some pressure. Ulf Esport. I think they're really strong. They beat us last time. They beat 5 superstars from tier 1, basically MVPs of every year. So I think they have huge pressure, and they can really qualify.
Okay. Which player outside your team would you consider a threat?
Threat. Ah, Trent is G2 esport right now, but maybe Zeke.
Okay.
I like him, I would like to see some games, banger games between each other.
Okay. Well, then I guess this question leads into that. Who are you most excited to play against?
Then I'm gonna trick you and not say Zeke. I'm gonna say maybe someone else. Let me check who's playing in a session because I don't remember. Who I'm
I'm leaving
excited
this
the
in.
most to face? Kurwa, Twisted Minds because they have 100 ping in the online, and let's see how it's gonna be on 0 ping.
Okay. Is there any team you are surprised didn't make it to Ascension, or anyone you're surprised did? You can't say yourself.
Wow, how he qualified? It's crazy, though. I mean, wow. If I'm surprised who qualify or who didn't, uh, good question. I mean, Dynasty. I think honestly, like who would put them right? Like, I think they had quite decent run with like not many people expected them to make such a good run with like a roster that on paper doesn't look insane, right?
Okay.
Uh, so good job to them.
What is the key factor for your team to win Ascension?
Key factor is, it's gonna be power of friendship. Why are you laughing every answer? The kurva! I'm trying to be serious. I swear.
One of the questions you literally just nodded. I don't think
Yeah,
you can say you're trying to be serious.
because there is gonna be nobody that gonna answer like this, and I'm gonna be the different guy. I want to be like,
All right. Well, this one I kind of need you to answer. It's the last question.
Okay.
Do you have a message for the other teams heading to Berlin?
I already answered this, but let's repeat. Okay, guys, listen to me. We have 7 days of practice. We have 2 substitutions for our 2 best players. You think we have any pressure? There is no pressure. What pressure? We're just gonna go there, have fun. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. It's no problem for us. We weren't supposed to be here, you know. So, good luck, guys, Watch out.
Thank you. Thank you. I
It's good,
appreciate
no?
the answer. It is a good answer. It is a good answer. And overall, I've had a lot of fun, Starzo. Thank you
I'm
very
sorry. I'm
much for.
sorry. I'm sorry it was so long, honestly. But I love to speak, and I
I know.
don't.
I think people will enjoy it, and if they got to the end, they got to see you wiggle your eyebrows at one of the questions and uh, talk about the power of friendship. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing you. I get to see you in a week or a little bit more than a week. I hope practice goes well because obviously it's a lot to try and fix. But again, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting, guys. See you.
See you. Bye.